Today I simulated 20 years on F1 Manager 2023 to see what will happen in the next 2 decades of Formula 1. Who will dominate the next 2 decades of Formula 1? Stay tuned to find out. My name is Chris, welcome back to CF Racing and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? Chris here, otherwise known as CF Racing, and today everybody I simulated 20 years in F1 Manager 2023. Huge shout out to Morgan for helping me out with today's video. This would not be possible without his help, so thank you so much for helping with this, because it takes a hell of a long time to simulate F1 Manager in 2023. But in 2024's F1 Manager, which is coming up very soon, there's a simulate option. I cannot wait for that. But guys, this is going to be the simulation of 20 years in F1 Manager 2023. If you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, join the Discord. Link is in the description down below to talk with every other F1 fan out there, because there's a lot of them in my Discord. With that being said, enjoy the simulation. In 2023, Max Verstappen takes 11 wins on the year, 449 points to finish P1, with Sergio Perez taking 2 wins, 329 points to finish P2. Fernando Alonso takes 4 wins, 309 points to finish P3, with Charles Leclerc taking 4 wins, 288 points to finish P4. Lance Stroll surprisingly did pretty good. He took 1 win, 254 points to finish P5. Sainz got destroyed by Leclerc by 100 points. He took 188 to finish P6. Gasly scored 120 points to finish P7. Hamilton took 1 win, 115 points to finish P8. Esteban Ocon took 89 points to finish P9, and George Russell only 82 points to finish P10. Red Bull win their first Constructors title of the simulation, followed by Aston Martin P2, Ferrari P3, Alpine P4, Mercedes P5, Haas P6. Surprisingly good job for Haas. Williams P7, McLaren P8, VCarb P9, and a stake in P10. And in the driver transfer market, Logan Sargent did not find a seat. That moves Zhou Guanyu to Williams. Nick DeVries goes to stake. Daniel Ricciardo actually goes to VCarb, just like he did in real life heading into 2024. Esteban Ocon goes to McLaren, and Oscar Piastri, huge twist, he leaves McLaren and goes to Alpine. Very interesting. And heading into 2024, there is a regulation change to apparently literally everything. In 2024, Max Verstappen goes back-to-back, making him a 2-time champion in the simulation, as he takes 9 wins on the year, 373 points to finish P1. Perez was surprisingly good this season, as he took 7 wins, 349 points, and kind of made a title fight out of it. That's surprising. Lance Stroll, another big surprise. 5 wins. He beat Fernando Alonso. He took 5 wins. 294 points to finish P3. Charles Leclerc took 1 win, 266 points to finish P4. Alonso took 1 win, 265 points to finish P6, 1 behind Leclerc. George Russell took 188 points to finish P7. 180 points to finish P6. Gasly 150 points to finish P7. Sainz 142 points to finish P8. Hamilton 58 points to finish P9. And Alexander Albon 57 points to finish P10. Red Bull win their second consecutive Constructors title, followed by Aston Martin P2, Ferrari P3, Mercedes P4, Alpine P5, Williams P6, McLaren P7, Haas dropped down to P8 unfortunately, Stake P9, and VCarb move down to dead last. And in the driver transfer market, starting it off, Lewis Hamilton at the end of 2024 retires from Formula 1. I guess he's decided he's not going to Ferrari. That moves Sergio Perez to McLaren, Charles Leclerc goes to Red Bull, George Russell goes to Ferrari, Esteban Ocon also goes to Mercedes, Kevin Magnussen goes to McLaren, and Mick Schumacher goes to Haas. Then Fernando Alonso also retired, and that kicked off Albon going to Aston Martin, Yuki Tsunoda going to Williams, Logan Sargent goes to VCarb, and then also Nico Hülkenberg retires as well, and that moves Zane Maloney as a rookie to Haas. And heading into 2025, there is a regulation change to the side pod and chassis department. In 2025, Max Verstappen dominated as he took 15 wins on the year, 539 points to finish P1. He destroyed Leclerc, unfortunately. Not really destroyed, it was kind of close, but Verstappen took 15 wins. Charles Leclerc took 7, 493 points to finish P2. Lance Stroll, the only other non-Red Bull driver to win a race, he took 1 win, 243 points to finish P3. George Russell took 210 points to finish P4. Gasly 204 points to finish P5. Albon did really good in the Aston Martin, sort of 202 points to finish P6, but Lance Stroll did beat him. Lance Stroll is actually kind of goated. Carlos Sainz 187 points to finish P7. Lando Norris took 170 points to finish P8. Tsunoda 88 points to finish P9, and Zhou Guanyu 61 points in the Williams, not bad, to finish P10. Red Bull win their third consecutive Constructors title, followed by Aston Martin P2, Ferrari P3, Alpine move up to P4, Williams move up to P5, and McLaren move up to P6, with Mercedes dropping down 3 to finish P7. Look what happens when you have Perez and Ocon as a teammate, as teammates. Haas P8, Stake P9, and VCarb finish in dead last. Kevin Magnussen decides to retire from Formula 1. That moves Valtteri Bottas to McLaren, and Ayumu Awasa as a rookie goes to the Stake team. And heading into 2026, apparently everything is changing once again. Here we go. Season 4, 2026, Max Verstappen goes back as he took 18 wins on the year, 539 points. Again, he actually scored the same amount of points with more wins this time. As Charles Leclerc took 3 wins, 374 points to finish P2. George Russell took 1 win, 331 points to finish P3. Gasly, 285 points to finish P4. Piastri, 273 points to finish P5. Sainz, 235 points to finish P6. Lance Stroll took 187 points to finish P7. Alexander Albon, he took a win. Good for Alex. Good for him in the Aston Martin. 134 points to finish P8. Lando Norris, 54 points to finish P9. And Mick Schumacher doing pretty good in that Haas, 43 points to finish P10. Red Bull win their 4th consecutive Constructors title and Drivers title, and Ferrari finished P2 with Alpine actually moving up to P3. Look at Alpine cook right now. Aston Martin P4, McLaren P5, Haas P6, Stake P7, Mercedes P8, Williams P9, and VCarb and in dead last. Daniel Ricciardo at the end of the year cannot find a seat. I guess he just sucked so much. That moves Nick De Vries back to VCarb. Oof, yikes. And Theo Pourchaire replaces Nick De Vries at the Stake team. And heading into 2027, there's a regulation change to the aero department. In 2027, Max Verstappen wins his 5th consecutive Drivers title. I know, this is thrilling, isn't it? As he took 7 wins, 360 points to finish P1. George Russell took 5 wins, 297 points to finish P2. Oscar Piastri took 1 win, 242 points to finish P3. Charles Leclerc took 2 wins, 237 points to finish P4. Pierre Gasly took 3 wins, 232 points to finish P5. Carlos Sainz also took 3 wins, 230 points to finish P6. Lance Stroll took 1 win, 216 points to finish P7. And Alexander Albon also took a win, 8 different winners in 2027. I'm just gotta say, that's absolutely crazy. 158 points to finish P8. Esteban Ocon 76 points to finish P9, and Yuki Tsunoda 70 points to finish P10. Red Bull win their 5th consecutive Constructors title, followed by Ferrari P2, Alpine P3, Aston Martin P4, Williams P5, Mercedes P6, Haas P7, McLaren P8, Stake P9, and VCarb still suck. They're in dead last. And in the driver transfer market, Sergio Perez kicks it off as he retires because he's just not very good anymore. That moves Yuki Tsunoda to Mercedes, and Lance Stroll goes to Williams. Lando Norris goes to Aston Martin. Mick Schumacher goes to McLaren, and Liam Lawson goes to Haas. Valtteri Bottas also retires from Formula 1. That moves Nick De Vries to McLaren, just like he was a McLaren rookie back in the olden days. And Richard Verschoor goes to VCarb, poor guy, to replace Nick De Vries. And heading into 2028, there's a regulation change to the side pod and the chassis departments. In 2028, things actually changed for the first time in the simulation as Oscar Piastri wins his first ever World Drivers' Championship driving for Alpine. I guess they really got their stuff together after he joined and Ocon left. He took 8 wins on the year, 407 points to finish in P1. Max Verstappen also took 8 wins, 378 points to finish P2. George Russell took 4 wins, 327 points to finish P3. Carlos Sainz took 1 win, 272 points to finish P4. Charles Leclerc took 1 win, 268 points to finish P5. Pierre Gasly took a win, 215 points to finish P6. Lando Norris took 145 points for P7. Lance Stroll took 98 for P8. Nick De Vries took 88 points for P9. And Esteban Ocon took 68 points to finish P10. Red Bull win their 6th consecutive Constructors title, and yes, they are dominant, but I mean, they have Verstappen and Leclerc driving for them, even though Verstappen's kind of carrying. With Alpine moving up to P2 and Ferrari dropping down to P3. Aston Martin finished P4, followed by Williams P5, McLaren P6, Mercedes P7, Stake P8, Haas P9, and VCarb still in P10. Look at this, Charles Leclerc goes back to Ferrari and George Russell replaces him at Red Bull. Just a quick little driver swap there. And to kick off transfers once again, Alexander Albon could not find a seat. That is very surprising considering he's low-key carrying Aston Martin right now. Kind of. I mean, he was alright against Lando Norris. And that moves Esteban Ocon to Aston Martin. Zhou goes to Mercedes. Carlos Sainz goes to Williams. That might actually happen in real life. Lando Norris goes to Ferrari to partner Charles Leclerc. Pierre Gasly goes to McLaren. And Isaac Hadjar, as a rookie, goes to Alpine to really replace Gasly and be Oscar Piastri's teammate. That's good luck, Isaac Hadjar. And heading into 2029, there is a regulation change to the downforce. In 2027, Oscar Piastri goes back to back as he took 9 wins on the year, 378 points to finish P2, and I'm sure Australians are going to be absolutely loving this video right now. Max Verstappen took 7 wins, 344 points to finish P2. George Russell took 2 wins, 256 points to finish P3. Charles Leclerc took 236 points to finish P4. Esteban Ocon took a win, 227 points to finish P5. Lando Norris took 3 wins, 221 points to finish P6. Carlos Sainz took 135 points to finish P7. Lance Stroll took 131 points to finish P8. Gasly took 125 points to finish P9. And Zhou Guanyu, he's first time on this list, I believe, 108 points to finish P10. Alpine win their first Constructors title since probably 2006 or 5, whenever Alonso won his championships, with Red Bull finishing P2, Aston Martin 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Williams 5th, Mercedes 6th, McLaren 7th, Haas P8, Stake P9, and VCarb, they suck, they're in dead last. We actually had, for the first time in this simulation, some mid-season driver transfers. Isaac Hadjar got dropped after being a rookie. That moved Lando Norris to Alpine, and yes, I spelled Alpine wrong, my bad. And Jack Doohan replaced Lando Norris at Ferrari mid-season. Kind of interesting there. That's why I see why Lando Norris took 3 wins then, because he was in the best car. But he still couldn't beat Charles Leclerc, ha, L. At the end of the year, Ayumu Iwasa ended up as a free agent. Jack Crawford went to Stake. Lance Stroll also ended up as a free agent. That moves Logan Sargent to Williams, and Isaac Hadjar, he's back. He goes to VCarb. Poor guy. And heading into 2020, or 2030 actually, look at this. There's a regulation change to almost everything again. In 2030, Oscar Piastri goes back as he takes 9 wins on the year, 339 points to finish in P1, and he destroyed Lando Norris's teammate as Lando Norris took 2 wins, 266 points to finish P2. If you guys want a good driver, take Oscar Piastri, man. He knows how to develop in this game. Teo Pourchaire takes 2 wins, 255 points to finish P3. Max Verstappen 2 wins, 239 points to finish P4. Esteban Ocon took 2 wins, 214 points to finish P5. Esteban Ocon took 2 wins, 178 points to finish P6. Carlos Sainz took a win, 122 points to finish P7. Logan Sargent, 103 points to finish P8. Mick Schumacher, 100 points to finish P9. And Charles Leclerc, surprisingly, 93 points to finish in P10. Alpine win their 2nd consecutive Constructors title. Good for Alpine, followed by Red Bull P2. And look at this stake. Up to P3. Oh my goodness. Teo Pourchaire and Jack Crawford. Who would have thought that? Aston Martin finished 4th with Williams 5th. They're a solid 5th this whole simulation. Ferrari down to 6th. Mercedes 7th. McLaren P8. Haas P9, and VCarb. Once again, this is the team of losers. They're just dead last. And at the end of the year, Charles Leclerc retires from Formula 1. That is unfortunate. I would be so sad if he only makes it to 2030. But I mean, that's what Ferrari does to a guy. Teo Pourchaire goes to Ferrari, poor guy. And Ayumu Iwasa goes to Audi. Carlos Sainz also decides to retire, so we got like Charles Leclerc and Sainz back together again, yay. That moves Yuki Tsunoda to Williams and Dennis Hauger to Mercedes. And heading into Season 9, 2031, there is a regulation change to absolutely nothing. Season 9, 2031, probably one of the craziest seasons I've ever witnessed. Really, this is insane. Yuki Tsunoda wins his first ever World Drivers' Championship driving for Williams as he took 6 wins on the year, 314 points to finish P1. Lando Norris took 4 wins, 259 points to finish P2. Teo Pourchaire took 2 wins, 254 points to finish P3. Oscar Piastri took a win, 247 points to finish P4. Logan Sargent took 4 wins, 239 points to finish P5. Zhou Guanyu took 2 wins, 228 points to finish P6. Mick Schumacher took a win, 148 points to finish P7. Max Verstappen also took 2 wins, 138 points to finish P8. George Russell took 98 points to finish P9. And Zane Maloney took 87 points to finish P10. And yes, that is again 8 different winners. Wow. And Williams actually won the Constructors title for the first time since, let's go with 97 maybe? I don't remember when they won. Alpine finished P2 with Ferrari P3, Mercedes P4, Red Bull P5, Haas P6, McLaren P7. Unfortunately, Stake dropped down to P8. Teo Pourchaire is a carry. VCarb finished P9. Good for VCarb. And Aston Martin dropped down 6 places without a regulation change, and they finish dead last. Wow. Ocon and Gasly again. What a driver. Why would they do that? And stick with me, guys, because there is a bunch of driver transfers here. Teo Pourchaire go to Williams, and Logan Sargent went to Ferrari. Mick Schumacher also goes to Ferrari, and that moves Jack Doohan to McLaren. Gasly retires, and that kicked off Dennis Hauger going to Aston Martin, Esteban Ocon going to Mercedes, Richard Verschoor going to Aston Martin, and I believe Montoya, I forget his first name, he goes to VCarb. Max Verstappen also retires. That moves Zane Maloney to Red Bull and Oliver Behrman to Haas. Nick De Vries also retires. 3 more retirees this season. That moves Zhou Guanyu to McLaren. Liam Lawson goes to Mercedes, and he's an F3 driver. I think it's like Gioth or something. I forgot how to pronounce his name. He goes to Haas. And heading into Season 10, 2032, there's a regulation change to nothing once again. 2 years in a row with nothing. Maybe it'll be another crazy year. And in Season 10, 2032, Oscar Piastri is back on top as he took 7 wins on the year, 329 points to finish P1. Teo Pourchaire took 5 wins, 272 points to finish P2. Lando Norris took 2 wins, 242 points to finish P3. Jack Crawford took 4 wins, 232 points to finish P4. Liam Lawson took 202 points to finish P5. Yuki Tsunoda, 175 points to finish P6. Awasa, 1 win, 144 points to finish P7. George Russell, 131 points to finish P8. He's still kicking around. Isaac Hadjar, 110 points to finish P9. And Jack Doohan, 1 win, 109 points to finish P10. Alpine win their 3rd Constructors title of the simulation, followed by Williams P2, Stake P3, Mercedes P4, McLaren P5, Red Bull down to P6, Aston Martin P7, VCarb P8, Ferrari down to P9, ouch, and Haas in dead last. In the driver transfer market, Esteban Ocon retires from Formula 1, another retiree. That moves Jack Crawford to Mercedes. I believe it's Sebastian Montoya, I think it is, to Stake. And O'Sullivan, he's a Williams F2 driver this year. He goes to VCarb. And heading in to Season 11, 2033, there is a regulation change to apparently everything.